Welcome back to the Controllables interview series created for Mental Health Awareness Month. Today's guest is Mike Planeta, a former professional baseball player, college basketball standout, and now a gym owner and spiritual leader based in California. But more than his athletic resume or business success, Mike's life is anchored in something deeper, his faith. In this episode, he shares about how surrendering control to God became the very thing that gave him peace, how he built awareness of who he really is, and how choosing the right voice in his head every day has shaped who he's becoming. This one isn't just about performance. It's about identity, discipline, and building a mindset that's rooted in something eternal. Let's dive in. I'll be honest, I have never felt like life has been out of control, because I've always operated from the foundation that I'm not the one in control. My focus is to release any control I seek and allow that to be God's. That releases any pressure and allows me to focus on God Himself. Control is not my goal. My goal is to become sensitive to God's voice and God's heart. That flips the entire question upside down, because Mike's not trying to control life. He's surrendered that need. And in doing so, he found something more powerful: peace and purpose. When you try to stop gripping everything, you open your hands to what really matters. I would say awareness. Paul talks about this in Romans. He's explaining to the Gentiles the importance of law. Law acts as a mirror that shows us who and what we really are. It makes us aware, which leads us to seeking something greater. I don't think we can ever really move with purpose if we aren't aware of what we truly are. Awareness, not just habits and thought, but of who we are and what we're rooted in. Mike brings up Romans from the Bible and the idea of law being a mirror. That level of awareness leads to alignment, and from alignment, movement with purpose. The biggest inner dialogue will always be which voice I choose to listen to. Am I listening to who God says I am, or who the devil says I am? These voices lead to very different outcomes. God's voice is filled with love and purpose, and the devil's voice is filled with lies and hate that lead to destruction. Every single day, we choose which voice we listen to. The one filled with truth, or the one filled with lies. For Mike, the difference wasn't just mental, it was spiritual. When your identity is anchored in something bigger than your circumstances, the voice of God gets louder. There are a lot of things out there that people will try to either distract you with or encourage you with. Some are good and some are bad. But as long as you operate from the foundation, God, you will know the direction you should go. Mindset isn't based on circumstance. Mindset is created in the small habits. The peaks and the valleys are guaranteed, but there should never be peaks and valleys in your emotions. Stay rooted in your faith, and you will develop consistency, which will lead to not just your success, but also your peace. What a reminder, Mike. Mindset isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in our small, quiet habits when no one's around. Mike challenges us to stay rooted, not react, to build consistency, not just chase moments. That kind of faith-driven discipline doesn't just bring success, it brings peace. Mike's message reminds us that success isn't just about mindset. It's about what that mindset is rooted in. For him, it's not about controlling life. It's about surrendering to God and building peace from within. Thank you so much for listening. Stay consistent, stay faithful, and as always, stay charged.